Hey guys, um, just wanted to go over the notes a little bit for chapter 10. I know a bunch of you said the sound was not pulling up after like the 2-minute mark, so I want to make sure you have this available for the quiz, which is due Friday at noon. So you have now until Friday to get all of your attempts in, and then a couple of these questions are going to be on your final, and so I want to make sure that you have this available to you. So this chapter specifically talks about enhancing team meetings, which you had the chance to meet with a partner and do an interview. And so that's kind of beginning the process of understanding team meetings and team dynamics and that type of thing. And so if you got to do that before this, then great. And if not, this gives you a little bit of a segue into what to expect when you have team meetings. So meetings or group meetings or, whatever type of interaction we're going to break this down into is going to happen in any work environment or in any organization that you're in or in any group or team that you're in. So it is a necessity for the workplace or for any type of interaction where there's multiple people involved. And so we want to give you what you need to be equipped to do that the best way possible. So so the number one thing that a meeting needs to have is structure, right? So the structure is the agenda and other techniques that help a group or team stay focused on a task. And so the structure can be one of many different things. It can be the actual outline for the event, or it can be the agenda, or it can be just the overview of how things are going to flow through it. So long as a meeting has good structure and has a backbone, then it can kind of fall into place from there. And when you don't have structure in a meeting, then you can go in a million different directions. So that's like the most important thing is to have good structure. So it's also important that people are able to collaborate, and everyone is allowed to be a part of the meeting, and everyone is allowed to contribute and have a give and take type of conversation. And so we call those types of conversations, that give and take response to one another, we call that an interaction, and that allows people to collaborate, and it's vital for the exchange of ideas. And so interactions should be able to happen unilaterally across a meeting of any kind. So people should be able to ask questions or provide feedback at any given point in a meeting so that they continue to get the right information in place for them. So when a meeting doesn't have that type of structure or those types of interactions with one another, it can run too long. Sometimes people will focus more on the solution rather than analyzing issues. There are people who get focused on getting out of there, and so they're focusing on just finding an answer really quick and not figuring out what's the best method to get to the right resolution. A lot of times people will jump at the first solution that comes out of the gate because they're just ready to get out of there. And conflict is maybe not managed as well. And so that's why you need to have structure in a meeting. So meetings run too long, members focus on solution, people jump at the first response, the first solution, and conflict is not managed well. Those are all reasons why you need structure. And another thing, meetings are only necessary. So there's a lot of jokes about how a meeting could have been reduced to an email. And so it's only really important that you meet with people if you have to collaborate. There's a lot of uncertainty, so unknowns, there's things that you can't figure out through an email that will be better shared through exchanging information or interacting with different information, people providing that feedback back and forth. There's information that's going to come from multiple sources, so multiple people are going to be providing the interaction, the feedback that's needed. And if the task or project is more complex than you would need for a quick phone call or an email. So meetings are vital if there's collaboration needed, if there's uncertainty, there's information coming from different sources, and if the task or the projects ahead of your team is complex. So keep those in mind. Okay. And meetings you should be sharing information, and you should be discussing information, and you should also be taking action. So those three things need to transpire in order for a meeting to achieve the specific goals, right? So when you leave the meeting, you should be able to have marching orders. Everybody should know what's coming next, right? An ineffective meeting ends with everybody kind of walking out of there thinking, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do right now. So all of the roles and the goals and the responsibilities when you leave that meeting should be defined, or you should know who to follow up with to figure out what the next step is. So it helps to have an agenda when you go into that. So that's what we discussed, having a structure, right? So an agenda is a written list of issues, questions, or topics that serve the primary tool to help structure the order. So agenda will help you go through the actual chronological order of things. And it's helpful for people to be able to look at it, look ahead, know, we're going to get to that next. We're not discussing that next, or, maybe for them to, if they have questions where they can add it into the conversation, or if they can hold their questions to the end. So it is great to just start off a meeting with an agenda and for people to be able to look at it, not surprise them with it. So communicating is a process of overcoming obstacles to achieve a specific goal. Let me see, I'm going to find the actual chapter on that real quick. 1 second. Hi, Harry. Hold on. Make sure that's correct. That's not right. It's problem solving. Problem solving is a process of overcoming obstacles to achieve a specific goal. So I'm going to change that for you. Answer number 7 is problem solving. It was circled and it didn't sound right. So that happens a lot. But problem solving is means that you have a solution mindset in mind, and that you're going to get to a goal at some point. So the last thing that you need to think about in meetings is brainstorming. So this is a really simple ideology. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what brainstorming is, but the book definition is it's a problem-solving technique that helps a group generate creative options. It's been used by businesses, committees, and government agencies to improve the quality of group decision-making. So I tried to find an office clip of brainstorming, but Michael Scott is the godfather of brainstorming, and he always wants his group to kind of think further along and provide different ideas. And so if you ever watch The Office, whenever he has a meeting, he wants them to engage and interact and brainstorm different ideas. But Michael always wants to lead them to a specific solution, so maybe not the most effective meeting. So those are the very basic definitions of this quiz. There's only 8 questions, and I gave you 1. So that means there's 7 for you to answer. So that should be it. If you guys have questions, this is going to be your shortest lecture and your last. Good for you. Email me. I'm entering grades. So if I email you and I'm missing something, get it to me, because that means I'm trying to put your grade in for it. So everybody have a blessed rest of the week. Please follow up with questions. If you have not presented your persuasive presentation, I do not know what to tell you at this point, because they are done. So you are likely not watching this either. So if you need me, email me. All right, everybody? I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have a great Tuesday.